Okay, I'm just making, trying to show everybody a little, this is just a skim of everything I have been through with the renting and trying to have a roof over my head. The basic torture, putting it lightly. Okay. When I was illegally evicted from my grandmother's house, which I was her legal caretaker, because she was disabled. She has drop foot ever since she fell. I mean, she takes like up to 30 medicines a day, not counting checking her. Anyway, I made a police report in Lansing, because when I went to, because the landlord had came in there and just totally screamed at my grandma, said that we had to get out. She was crying, so I went up to the police, something about our trash, and they knew it was our trash because they found my mail in it, and that was my trash and my mail. But come to find out, the law's in trash. Once you set it on the curb, it is no longer your trash. But when you don't know the laws and you don't have anybody fighting for you, and there's no actual police legal system, this doesn't count all the things that I went through with my grandmother's doctors, almost killing her several times, ODing her on narcotics, and I was just giving her the dose that I was supposed to give her. It doesn't count the payee that was not really a payee, that was taking her money. Her lights ended up being turned off. I made a police report against that, and the same police officer that told me that I had no rights when my trash was supposedly found in somebody else's yard was the same policeman that came out and told me that it was just a clerical error. Yeah, when there was really some serious issues going on. I finally had to go up with her case manager and get all the bills switched over back in her name, because she is, she could do it on her own. I mean, at least her damn lights weren't getting turned off. I mean, she's got some sense about her. She may be physically disabled, but she hasn't lost her head totally, Not that there's not a history of that, but the woman knows her money. Okay, so this is my first police report against David Scott for harassment to myself, Amanda Warren. I am Amanda Ray Warren, rented an apartment at 2101 Ottawa 102B, Leavenworth, Kansas 66048, from owner David Scott on the date of March 1st, 2013, in the amount of $675. Deposit was $675, first month's rent, for a total of $1,350. I also signed a lease at that time for the duration of 1 year. When I signed the lease, I did note that the carpet had not been changed or cleaned, nor had the walls been painted. I have had to wash the walls, and the ceiling in the kitchen still has the grease from, I'm assuming, the prior tenant. Had I been able to reach the ceiling standing on a ladder, I would have cleaned that also. I have pictures of the apartment. Mr. Scott did not do an inventory report with me 5 days after I moved in. Because 5 days after you move in an apartment, or any kind of dwelling, you have to do a walkthrough of the apartment and note all the things that are wrong with it. So I ended up doing the walkthrough myself, which I have video of. I paid April's rent approximately 5 days ahead of time with the agreement that he wouldn't cash the check until the 1st. He did this without a problem. On May 1st, 2013, I had to call him to find out where I could meet him or where I could put my rent check because I still had not a clue where it was to be placed. Like everyone else in the apartment complex. See, everybody else, where did they put their rent? I mean, I didn't even know where to take my rent. Okay. He asked me if I would be home in the next hour, and I said no because I had other bills that I needed to pay that day. He told me to give him a call in 45 minutes to an hour, and he would meet me wherever I was at. So my first call to him was at 11:37 a.m., and the second call was at 12:36. And I have all the times and everything because I had actually had all the voicemails that he left me harassing me. I had the phone bills with all the times that he called me, because under court order, the judge subpoenaed my phone calls. So, but that was after. Anyway, okay. And he would meet me wherever I was at. So my first call was to him at 11:37 a.m. and the second call was at 12:36 p.m. in which he informed me that he was not ready and asked me where I was and how long I would be there, and if I could call and meet him on Spruce Street at the bowling alley. Sure, no problem. Is this normal for most people that pay rent? Do most people have to go through all that, to pay their rent? I mean, no, but I wouldn't know this because, I've never had any sort of crazy ass, excuse my language, any crazy weirdness like this. So I pulled up next to him and gave him a check for $6.75. He gave me a receipt and we parted ways. The only thing other than cash check-in charge he mentioned was the weather. Later that night, on May 1st, 2013, at 7:30 p.m., I get a phone call from Mr. David Scott asking me if I had a dog in the apartment. I said yes, that I was watching the dog for a while for my mother and grandmother. He then told me I was in full violation of my lease, and if the dog was not gone by the time he came to do an inspection with 24 hours, that he would evict me, keep my deposit, and sue me for the rent that I owed. I said, okay, the dog will be gone, no problems. So May 2nd, 2013, at 12:30 p.m., he knocks on the door and proceeds to give me this paper and turns around to leave. Paper attached. Okay, I have the paper somewhere in here. Okay, anyway, it's in... I got all the... Hold on, I'll have to get that back out. Okay. I said, hold on a minute, the dog is gone. And I was under the idea that you would be doing an inspection. After he told me I would not be getting my deposit back again, saying that dogs pee and tear up the carpet, and is that the only dog that I have here? I told him to come in and inspect like he said he was going to, because the apartment is in better shape than when it was turned over to me. Then he stated again, after glancing at every room, that I would have to use my security deposit to replace the carpets. So am I supposed to replace or pay to replace carpet that was not new or clean when I began renting. No, I wasn't, and I'm not. He blatantly lied. Saying this is new carpet when it isn't even written in the lease that it is not. Being confused as to why other people in the building could have animals and I could not even be a sitter for a few days, I asked him if it would be okay if I was to pay for the dog. He then told me that I had already lied to him about two things now. First, that I've had a dog in here, and second, that I have moved in a roommate. I was stunned. I do not and have not moved in a roommate. I do not own a dog. I did babysit my mother's dog for 2 days before, and on the day he called saying that I had 24 hours to have the dog gone and to be inspected, I was fully aware that my lease agreement states no pets, and he stated that I will not be getting my deposit back. There was no inspection that took place May 3rd. Okay. Okay. So there's, I have more paper. I just have papers everywhere. It's freaking ridiculous. Okay, to David Scott. In accordance with the Kansas Tenant Act, Residential Landlord Act 58-2540, I am requesting in writing the following discrepancies to be corrected. I, Amanda Warren, unit number 102B, needs to be provided with a copy of the lease agreement. I also need to have a mailbox key. 2. Primary power switch to my apartment 102B needs to be padlocked like the others to prevent any more future unauthorized misuses like the 3 that have already occurred. 3. Verbal notice by way of telephone or written notice by way of, what is that word? Letter, should and will be respected 48 hours prior to the entry into my apartment or unit. In the case of an emergency only, will this rule have any clearance of change? 4. There are pests, such as roaches in the apartment that need to be rid. So I would appreciate if my apartment to appropriately be treated to rid of these nasty insects. If you have any questions or concerns, you can call my old number and leave me a detailed message why you are calling. I will call you back to comply with your needs. This will help eliminate any inconvenient, numerous non-emergency visits to my apartment and my telephone. Thank you in advance for your participation as a law-abiding landlord to make sure the requirements are met so no further actions have to be enforced. Tenant 102B. Okay. Okay. Police report, January 3rd, 2013. I, Amanda Warren, am filing a police report on the following 2 persons for harassment and landlord retaliation, which is against Kansas state law. David Scott and Sam Scott. On June 1st, 2013, I hand-delivered my notarized list of discrepancies, which is what I just read, to my landlord, David Scott, like I was advised to do by my legal attorney, Joanna Johnson. At this same time, I was also very clearly tried to pay my rent, as witnessed by Evelyn Majors. This list of discrepancies has been copied and attached to this report. David Scott went through some of the lists with me, arguing about my requests. Request 1 stated I needed a copy of the lease agreement. He told me that I would not be able to receive it at that time and did not set up a time when I could receive it. He did not acknowledge the request for my mailbox key, so I am still not receiving my federal mail. He then told me that I only informed him once about my power being turned off. I told him that was incorrect, being that his son, my neighbor Sam Scott, had been notified on the 2 incidences before the third in which Sam was not home. So I had to then call David Scott to resolve the issue. David then told me that he had no control over the power boxes. He said I would have to notify the electric company about the broken lock on my box. He said it would be illegal for him to lock my box like the other ones were locked in the building, because he could get a violation if they are locked. Told me I could call electric company Monday because they could not assist with any kind of outages on the weekends. When he read number 3, he said he does not have to give me any notice and can knock on my door and call my phone as many or as much as he pleases. I then handed him my rent check for $675. He took it out of my hand, telling me that he would write me a receipt for half of it because I was late and I owed him roommate and pet deposit. I do not have a pet and I do not have a roommate. I am not paying for things that I do not own. He said if I didn't want to pay this, I will be on the street in 3 days for violation of my lease and late unpaid rent. I told him that what he was doing was illegal. He said that he would see me in court on Wednesday. I asked him how he has a court date set up already with me, and I can't even read my own writing. And I'm unaware of it. He said I would get the notice by way of mail, but I have no key. He then told me to get off his property because I went to his house to give him all this. He was pretty surprised when he showed up and I was there on his... Well, I mean, I didn't, I wasn't going to be pushed around anymore. Okay. To get off his property as I was Yeah, and he called me a bitch. Vacate premises, pay rent, late charge. Number B was left under my door when I arrived home later that evening. Often I tried to pay my rent and deliver my list of discrepancies. This was on my door. And I had what he left on my door, just all sorts of crazy notes and stuff. It was ridiculous. Just threatening me. Anyway, I have those. On May 1st, I was told that I would have to have insurance for my apartment by law. David Scott told me that he would have someone with him to assess all my furniture. If I did not want to go through this scam, I would have to go through my auto insurance company and still fill out the paperwork giving my policy number. It is not a law to have renter's insurance in Kansas. If you do have insurance, it does not need to be given to your landlord. Excuse me. So David Scott is illegally demanding this information from me. These are the times he tried to contact me by way of phone in May. May 6th, 2 times. May 8th, 1 time. May 9th, twice. May 11th, once. May 20th, once. May 23rd, once. There was also 5 times in the month he knocked. Or there was also, I mean, he was just constantly knocking. I mean, I got to the point where I couldn't even, anyway, I had to file a restraining order against him. An emergency restraining order. And these are the 3 times that they let me make a report. One time when they said that they were on camera, they, no, babies. When they saw that they were on camera, they weren't going to make him leave until they saw that I had him on camera. Then the police went ahead and made him leave. But he was violating a protective custody restraining order. These 3 times. And he was not, there was nothing done to him at all. See? So, and here is like, here's one of them. And look, he said certified mail. He did not send the certified mail. Okay? I never got my mail one time when I lived there. I asked him what they did with all the mail that got sent back to him whenever I was at the courts. I said, what happened to all my mail? Where's my federal mail? Oh, well, they couldn't answer that. Nobody can answer that. You know. Because that's how they do it. So, yeah. Anyway. So, here's one where I tried to get Brown and Crouppen to help me. And this was after I had already went to the housing authorities. And check this out. You're gonna love this. Okay, this is what they give you at Midwest Property Management, right? This is where your confirmation numbers to get your electricity, your gas, your utility billing. Okay, do you see the address here for? Let me get. Okay, see the utility billing. Okay, City of Lawrence. Utility billing. Now, P.O. Box. Hold on. Utility billing. Okay, that's 17507. P.O. Box 1757. Do you see the problem? Problem. Okay, and that's not the only one. Okay, Black Hills Energy. There we go. Hold on. No, that's not. Hold on there. It's just stuff everywhere. It's just ridiculous. It's just absolutely out of this world ridiculous. Hold on a second. Black Hills Energy, my favorite people in the whole wide world. Just love it when they try to kill me with gas. Black Hills Energy. Let's see, what does it say there? What does that say? Kansas City, Missouri, whatever. But it is not 60666 or 6006. Anyway, this is what the landlords have to fill out. Okay? Right? And they can be on your account. And they get in your account. They have a thing set up with the gas company, and they get you. So it's a whole it's the whole team. It's the whole chain, okay? They work together in it. Oh, look. Here's the title to my truck that they sent off for and just recently sold, okay? But get this. The Farmers Bureau guy that used to be my agent, Dan Wilcott, is also an attorney in Leavenworth. Dun, 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 dun. Convenient? Possibly. Oh, and also when I went to go purchase my new vehicle from the same place that I had paid my truck off from, yeah, the same guy who does their insurance now, which is not Farm Bureau anymore, is also a lawyer. But they gave me a piece of shit. I should have died in that car. Yeah, because guess what? They bank with the same bank that I guess doesn't want everybody to know that they're a fraud. So, you know, it's real tight knit. Real tight knit. And hold on, I got more. Okay. This is the best thing that I ever had that was ever pointed in my direction, was the Kansas Residential Landlord and Tenant Act. This has been my Bible. Literally. It has been my Bible. These, right, and that's not even all of it, but, these right here are all the different apartments that are vacant. I mean, it's just absolute. I mean, I don't know if you can tell how thick this is. That's just the ones that are listed on the internet and not all together, okay? Kansas Tenant Handbook. Bible of Bibles, okay? And this is what when the police came knocking on my door, well, actually, I told her I was going to call the police because she wouldn't leave me the hell alone. And check this out. However, okay, the Landlord-Tenant Act is a civil law. However, when a landlord acts to force you out without following the proper process, you can call the police, file a report, and file charges under criminal law. A landlord can be charged with criminal deprivation of property if you have been barred from entering or theft if your personal property has been removed. Okay? So, like, if they steal your dwelling and sell it, that's grounds for a lawsuit. If they lock you out and won't let you in, grounds for a lawsuit. Okay? Okay. Check it out. Where there has been an abandonment where the tenant has been removed as a result of an eviction action, or where the tenant has been moved out but has left items of personal property at the rental unit, Kansas law says that the landlord may sell or dispose of the tenant's property if he or she does not do the following things. Holds the property for at least 30 days, giving the tenant the right to redeem if outstanding debts are settled. Put an ad in the paper at least 15 days before the sale or other dispositions of the property, no later than 7 days after the ad is published. The landlord must send a copy of the ad to the tenant at the tenant's last known address. An important reason for the tenant to file a charge of a change of address with the post office. If you can't get your federal mail, okay, if they have stopped you from getting your federal mail from everywhere you lived, and they've erased you out of the whole fucking system, excuse my language, out of the whole system, then that's a problem. I'm sorry, I'm just getting mad. I've just been through so much. You guys don't even know. You guys don't even know what I've been through. You have no idea. I'm just trying to give you a skim of it. No, if you don't move out, okay, that's what I was doing at Monterey Way. And